What's going on, everybody? I'm Eli Doyle, and we're back here with episode 4 of Pick Fiends. And we're not going to dilly-dally. We got a bunch of stuff to cover. I'm going to have the OGs, Ryan Smith, Dalton Mates on. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk NFL quarterbacks, where they're going. There's a whole frenzy of free agents out there in the quarterback position. We're going to talk about where we think they're going, what we think they're going to cost, all that stuff. We'll talk a little bit about the XFL, NFL partnership going on that was announced this weekend. I'm gonna give you a little NBA All-Star Weekend recap, quick. We'll go over, like I said, the whole All-Star Weekend. I'll also cover my top 5 snubs of the NBA 75 list that came out this weekend. Besides that, we're gonna talk some UFC, and we're gonna get into it right now. Okay, so UFC 70, or it's called UFC Las Vegas. It's just like not a watered down card, don't get me wrong, because the fights are still fights. It's just not as big as like your traditional 5-fight card pay-per-view. So we're gonna have it's gonna be on ESPN Plus, just like normal, kind of normal stuff. It's my guy I was talking about all last card, Bobby Green. He's fighting again. He's right back. He's ready to go. He's fighting very tough man. A lot of people like to say the understudy to Khabib. This man, Islam. I'm gonna brutally mess up his last name. Islam is his first name. His last name is Makachev, some along those lines. I was probably butchered, but close. Anyway, he is literally, when we say the understudy to Khabib, I mean he is Khabib 2.0 from a technical prowess standpoint. I watched him manhandle a guy, ragdoll him, pick him up, and pose like to Dana White. And he's not an outstandingly like large in stature kind of guy. He's just one of those technical prowess is what comes to mind. Like that phrase, like he just has that technical factor of him. Like he can just put you in a pretzel from anywhere, to say the least. That is obviously a very good fight. You would have to think if Bobby has 2 impressive victories, which if he's going to beat Islam, it's probably going to come by way of knockout. If he's able to knock out Islam 3 weeks removed from going a full 3-round fight and winning, I mean, he has to be in contention, you would think. Like he's having a very not mediocre rise, but it's going, he's obviously a veteran of the game. He's a very bad man. You don't want to be across that octagon from him. But, he's going to have to, pull something out of the bag of tricks to fight Islam, to win against Islam, in my opinion, because like I said, Islam has that technical prowess. He has Khabib in his corner. He's training with Khabib's camp every day. It's going to be a tough fight. I'm going to give you a pick here. Okay, everybody get ready, because I don't just go throwing these things around. But Islam Makachev, however you say his last name, I apologize for butchering it, is plus 190 to win by submission in rounds 1 or 2 on FanDuel. So you go into the fight, you go down. It's under 1. I think it might be a special or something, but he is plus 190 to win in rounds 1 or 2 by submission. And if you go do a simple YouTube search of Islam and watch some of his fights, you will know why I am picking this. He is the closest thing to Khabib now we've seen since Khabib has abruptly left the UFC. He gives you Khabib's a little more bigger in stature, but man, does this kid just seem like he is the poster child athlete of that, that kind of culture that Khabib has brought to the UFC as of late. But yeah, like I said, plus 190, an outstanding pick. I really hope this never, ever in any universe reaches Bobby Green, because I love that man, and I hope he doesn't get it, because I mean, how could he love me back if I'm betting against him in a fight? I mean, it's not like it's a football game or a basketball game. This is a fight, man. Someone's gonna get knocked out, someone's gonna tap, probably. At the end of the day, there's gonna be a winner and a loser. You know, and I'm just torn over this, but Islam is the true pick. I can't, can't stress it enough. Do a simple YouTube search of Islam Makhachev, or however you say his last name. He is a tough dude. He's gonna be very tough for Bobby Green to knock out. Besides that, looking ahead, big glare, Jesus. UFC 272 Covington Masvidal is next Saturday, the 5th of March. I'll probably get into that more next episode, but I cannot stress this enough. Islam plus 190, first or second round submission victory. And that's all I got to say about it. See you next week when we're talking Covington Masvidal and the whole rest of that card. All right, we're going to talk NBA All-Star Weekend recap right now. Overall, I think it was a good weekend for the viewer, for the fan. I think there was a little bit of a sour consensus from the media afterwards because of maybe, the dunk contest not being as exciting, and the top 75 list. Everybody's going to have their opinions either way. I'm going to have my opinion right after the recap of the weekend here. So first, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I hit a nice little chunk on a bet. Steph Curry, shout out. He was my MVP. I picked him. I think I got him at plus 900. Where's odds to win All-Star Game MVP? Obviously, shelled out for the boys. I think he had like 16 threes or something, unprecedented that Curry would do. But shout out him. But we'll get to the weekend. Team LeBron won in a nail biter. It was thrilling. Like I said, good for the viewer, good for the fan, good for everybody. Good for All-Star Weekend, good for the players. Can't ask for much more. Can't ask for anything better than that. As for the competitions, Obi Toppin won a lackluster dunk competition. I think we might have called it, me and Luke, last week with Jalen just being a little overzealous and everything. Obviously we know he could jump out of the arena, but he just couldn't. They missed like 9 straight at one point. Whatever. Congratulations, Obi Toppin. Karl Anthony Towns won the 3-point competition. I don't think anybody saw that coming. He was ranked, I think, last in the betting odds. I don't remember what his odds were, but his odds were definitely way down there. I'm pretty sure I read that he was last, highest odds, obviously, to win. Excuse me. And then for the skills competition, the Cavs took it over the rookies and the Antetokounmpos. Congratulations to them. Big fan of theirs. They've won me a couple bets in the regular season now. But yeah, exciting. I had a good time as a betting fan. I had enjoyed the weekend. But I think the point of contention for the weekend came with the top 75. Maybe that wasn't the best idea to do that before the All-Star Game, whatever. We could debate that for another time. But this top 75 itself, obviously brought up a lot of debate about who deserves to be, who's better than who's worse than who, that kind of thing. I'm not going to rip it down. Like I said, we're only going to do a couple minutes here, but I will give you my, after consuming the whole weekend and reading the opinions of others on Twitter and the rest of the internet, I'll give you my big five, my top 5 snubs. And I'll start with this one because I think he deserves to be on there. Kyrie Irving. I think there's a lot of players currently on there. Like the guy that sticks out to me, obviously Sixers fan. We got James Harden, awesome. But how does James Harden get on that list and Kyrie doesn't, from a standpoint of what have you done for the game? I think, and that's a recurring theme here. I think what have you done for the game maybe has not been recognized as enough as it should have been. But yeah, Kyrie, that's the dynamic I was kind of looking at. Like, how is Harden? And maybe Harden outscoring him more points, whatever, yada yada. That's fine, but is that what's basing your top 75? Like, who can score? Because we could go X, Y, Z different ways about that then. But anyway, I thought he was the number 5 snub. Number 4 below him in my book it's kind of a toss-up, 3 and 4, but 4 in my book would be Vince Carter. Another, just from a standpoint of what have you done for the game? What have you changed about the game? What have you done for the, that has had an impact, that you're going to tell the story of the NBA? I think Vince Carter has to be on that pedestal of I mean, for a dunk contest alone, man, does that not count for anything? I mean, Vince Carter has given us some of the most impressive and iconic moments of all time, I feel like, in the NBA. And for him to not even be, in the top 75, I feel like that's pretty tough. And also, guy been around forever, has done it all pretty much, from what qualifies you to be maybe a Hall of Famer or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like Vince Carter's. I just feel like maybe it's recency bias, or maybe it's a lack of recency bias with him being out of the league recently. But is what it is. Number 3, I guess, then when working our way down, is Tracy McGrady. Another guy I just don't understand, the lasting imprint and legacy. Just like Vince Carter may have not been huge in the grand scheme of basketball, but from an iconic moment standpoint, I mean, every kid my age has seen the 13 points in 3 seconds video or whatever it is. It's crazy. He did some crazy stuff. Below that, I'd probably have, we're going down to 2. See, this is where it's neck and neck here. I'm going to go with Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard, accolade machine, was an absolute force when he was younger, when he was in his prime in the league, all that. Can't believe he's snubbed, but it is what it is. Number 1, I mean, the most obvious probably snub on the list, Scottie Pippen. I mean, the best argument I saw for this is how did Rodman get on the list? Especially as respectable as that whole team and generation of those guys that were at the top of that generation were. How did Pippen? And like I said, maybe it's another case of recency bias with him kind of going off the handle in some people's eyes with the whole the Jordan documentary, that kind of the Last Dance, that whole burning bridges and stuff. And maybe there was some recency bias there. I don't know. I'm not the judge of that. But all I know is that there are probably, I mean, there's definitely people out there that can make the case for each one of these guys to be on that top 75 list versus maybe some others that are on the list. And like I said, that's not up for me to decide. That's just the information that I've accumulated here. I just thought I'd put it out there and put my thoughts behind it. But yeah, nothing else really. NBA, we're just getting back into the swing of things here. Games just started Thursday, today the 24th, while I'm recording that. Made a couple bets out there, nothing serious. DeMar DeRozan, if he is under 30 points, if his points are under 30 for his average, I recommend for his over-under, I recommend everybody go hop on his over every night. Doesn't matter who they're playing at this point. I think DeMar he's a machine, man. He's getting 28 like that. So that's why I've been on a lot lately. I think I mixed some double-double the Curry brothers, a couple threes in there, parlayed it together. That's all I really got. Nothing outstanding. Didn't look ahead at anything on the weekend. No bets. All right. Very quickly, while we're getting set up for the NFL and picking some quarterbacks where they're going to go, talking shop, all that good stuff. I'm going to quick make a PGA Honda Classic pick. Obviously, we haven't bet golf on here at all. I'm going to try to start doing some golf, maybe some NASCAR, maybe some other things that are big when they're in season and stuff. I did bet on Denny Hamlin to finish top 3 in the Daytona 500. Didn't happen. He crashed. I'm gonna bet top 10s finishers for golf mainly. I'm rolling with a guy, Chris Kirk. I got him plus 600 yesterday. I saw today. I think he's around the 6-7 mark right now after day 1. Like I said, the Honda Classic for the PGA Tour. Don't know where it's at or anything, but it just kicked off today. At the time of recording, he's finished today top 10, I think. I want to say, so we're looking good. Just got to keep it up. But yeah, I want to get more into golf, NASCAR, maybe tennis. Maybe I got to do some more soccer, I know. But yeah, felt like this was a good starting area. Hopefully we get some interest, get some people maybe encouraged to bet more with it. Don't bet me. Don't fade. I mean, you could fade me. That's fine. Fade. You can't really bet against somebody not to finish top 10, but you could pick somebody else, pick somebody to win, even pick somebody top 3. They have a bunch of stuff. It's cool. Yeah, we're gonna roll with it here, and now we're gonna jump into football. But Chris Kirk to finish top 10 plus 600. Let's ride. All right, so to wrap up this episode, we're gonna talk a little bit about where the money gets made, the place that gets the most eyeballs, the National Football League. And what we're going to talk about today specifically is the frenzy of quarterbacks available in free agency this offseason. But first, let me just put it out there. We might have a few drop-ins. Might be some people dropping in to give us their opinion. And we'll more than happily welcome them here if anybody does. But before we get into this, I'm going to talk a little bit about the XFL-NFL partnership that was announced over the weekend. Now, this partnership was mainly seemed to be revolving around talking about data and other things. We're joined right now. We've got somebody connecting. Welcome on, Dalton.
Yo, what's up?
Reoccurring guest. We're gonna get right into the quarterback NFL, off-season quarterback market in a second. But right now, I was just talking about the XFL NFL merger deal kind of thing that was announced, and I was saying that it's mainly going to be like the terminology they used was talking about data and sharing analytics and stuff like that. But obviously, we know there's already a precedent set from the original variation of the XFL, where the NFL kind of stole ideas like the production sets, like the spider cam that kind of flies above and all that kind of stuff. Like we already saw this, that the NFL was willing to, do something, steal something from another league to help their product. So, I think there's going to be some of that involved. They already talked about the mention of streamlining like where officials kind of get trained at and stuff, like get experience and other stuff, like testing out other processes. Maybe one we could see here is like the whole coaching hire thing, like how will they handle that kind of process. So we have that, and I don't think it's anything to be surprised about. I won't be surprised if the USFL now getting launched, if they're somewhere along this. The CFL obviously has some kind of deal with the NFL where they share analytical data and stuff like that. But, not really groundbreaking news. I think most people kind of expected it with The Rock buying it.
I just think it's cool how there's like alternate paths now to get into the NFL, and it's not just college. because you're kind of seeing the NBA do it big time now, like the G League and stuff. Now the NFL kind of has something similar. Mm-hmm. So
no, I agree, and that's what I kind of envision it down the line as being, more of like a, I don't know what you want to call it, like a
kind of like a
mental kind of
league, I guess, but kind of like, I guess, kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a second chance league if you really think about it.
Yeah, I feel that, and who knows, like look how many quarterbacks we saw go from the XFL into the NFL in the last whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there was Heineke off the bat. Heineke off the bat is the one that sticks out. Josh Johnson was already in the NFL, but he went there, was a starter, came back.
Was PJ Walker messing around in one of those leagues?
PJ Walker was a starter. Yeah, he was a starter over there. There's a handful. I mean, I can't remember who there's another one that I should know off the top of my head, but I don't. I
mean, I know Manziel went and played for one of those teams, but he just
not in there. He was in a different one. Well, he was in the CFL, but he never played in the XFL. Yeah, he was in the CFL for a couple games, and he was in that whatever fan controlled.
Oh my God, yeah, that was a joke.
Marshawn, yeah, yeah, and Sherm and all them. But no, we'll jump right into the real quarterback talk here. What I mean, I'll just start. I guess I could just start throwing names at you. If you we'll just go down the list. I mean, there's plenty of quarterbacks that are obviously free agents. Just free agents alone, we have Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Mitch Trubisky is going to be looking to go somewhere after kind of trying to reinvent the career. Jameis Winston is a free agent, technically, even though he may be looking to go back to New Orleans. I'm trying. Are there any other free agents off the top of your head that guys that are walking almost? Because obviously there's other quarterbacks available, right?
You say Kirk as being a free agent?
Yeah. Yep. Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr. They're the two that stick out to me as probably the big money ticket, big deals that are going to get done. But then obviously we have Mitch and some other guys. But then obviously I think this is such a frenzy, I keep saying, of a market because we have so many possibilities of what's going to happen. Okay, so the obvious ones that stick out to everybody's head is Rodgers. What's he doing? Which we could get into it then, but if you want. But I'm firm on the stance of Rodgers is probably not playing for another team at this point.
I think it's Green Bay or Bucks. Yeah,
exactly. He's like, I would not be surprised if he came out and said he was retiring, honestly, because I think
I could see that
now
happening more than anything.
here's my kind of rebuttal to this, that he's retiring. So a couple of trusted sources I follow on the social media, have been tweeting very heavily about Washington. And I don't know, there was a second team that apparently talked to the Packers about their price on Jordan Love. So if Jordan Love's available, they're obviously not, the Packers, the way the Packers operate, they're obviously has been pretty historic. They're obviously not going to deplete their quarterback room. Okay.
If Jordan Love's available, then Aaron's coming back.
Exactly. That's what I was alluding to. But like I said, I really don't. I don't believe anything about Rodgers until Rodgers kind of says it here. So, and he's been very firm. He just told Diana Rossini at ESPN this morning that he is going to make a decision before March 6th, the new league day.
He'll do that respectfully. Out of respect. But
then after Rodgers, obviously, I think the other big quarterback possibly on the move name is Russell Wilson. Okay.
Yeah. Russ.
So there is talk everywhere, every sports show you tune into, you find that someone on the platform talking about Russell Wilson possibly being somewhere else. I mean, Fox, we had Cowherd saying that Philadelphia should send Jalen Hurts, or no, it wasn't Jalen Hurts. It was Darius Slay and 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, that's absurd.
That's just a crazy asking price.
Yeah,
to be honest, I don't even think the Packers move Rodgers for that much.
The only
and
teams like I
Rodgers.
could see Russ. Like I saw a report that said Russ will only go to Denver or Tampa.
Tampa. Yeah, that was a report I read too. Obviously both teams could be looking to upgrade their quarterback situations. Is Teddy Bridgewater a free agent?
Yeah, I think he
Yep.
is.
Yeah, he's a free agent. That there, I knew there was one I missed.
I could see Teddy going somewhere like say San Francisco cuts ties with Jimmy G. Just get Teddy in there to give Trey Lance.
And that's another guy. Jimmy G has obviously been told. I mean, he hasn't told teams, but the 49ers have allegedly told teams he's available.
I think they told Jimmy he could seek a trade if he wants.
Now today, apparently there was a conflicting report. Yeah, I was gonna say, that was the thing. They had to tell Jimmy that he could seek a trade because today there was a conflicting report saying that John Lynch over there in their front office said that they have no intention of moving Jimmy right now until somebody calls saying, "Yo, we might have lost him here." No, there you go.
It was it was a notification.
Yeah, so like I said though, it sounds like they're not actively shopping Jimmy. It sounds like they're waiting for somebody to give them a deal for Jimmy. So,
I mean, I guess I think they don't want to set like a price for him.
Exactly. That's fine. Yeah. Because they don't want to underbid themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because then, like usually when you set a price, you're not getting that. You're probably getting something less. So like, let someone else offer something first. Like, if they want a third, don't ask for a third. You're gonna get a fourth. Like,
agreed. Another guy that has an interesting asking price, Deshaun Watson. Sounds like this is finally going to be the time that he gets moved out of Houston. They've been firm from what I read. They're very firm on their asking price of 3 first-rounders. I think I do put it this way. I would trade right now. I would trade 3 first-rounders. If I have 3 first-rounders to trade and I have to pick between Russ and Watson, pending all Watson's civil or criminal, if there are any, not that I'm aware of, charges, anything that would inept him from playing in the league, I would trade for Watson over Wilson only because I think they're very similar quarterbacks in play and what they bring, but I think Wilson's going to bring you more leadership and qualities like that, but I think Watson's going to bring you maybe a couple more years or just not that I think Russ is hard to deal with, but I think Watson's going to show up with something to prove more as Wilson's going to be like, okay, I'm going to tell you what works for me. If that makes sense.
I would definitely trade for Watson over Russ just because I think Russ is getting towards the end of his prime. Watson's entering it kind of. I just think he's better at this point in their careers and he's younger. So he's going to be better for longer. So I just think that's like, if they're going to have a similar asking price, trade for Watson.
Fair. Another guy, obviously we said Jimmy. We mentioned Carr and Kirk, but Carson Wentz, another guy, it seems like he might be on the hot seat. It's crazy because there's sports books out there that are willing to put like a plus 600 on Carson Wentz starting as the Commanders or the Steelers quarterback. Stuff like that is floating around, which the Steelers I think is way out there because I think they don't lie to us. Like, we know what the Steelers are doing. They've been very out there. They've been very upfront about Rudolph, Haskins, and possibly drafting somebody. So I think Washington is.
I don't know like where Carson fits. Like, I don't know what team is.
You would think and that's the thing. You would think that Frank Reich would be like the.
Like, I think the Colts is on the team that should be his.
Yeah, it's just obviously his pay doesn't match up, and I don't. His pay doesn't match his play, I guess we should say.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if they've ever reportedly approached him about taking a pay cut. I think that could probably resolve a lot of issues because they have money. So if he took a pay cut, I think it would be a lot more likely that he'd stay. But I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think they want to put it out there that they lost so up. Like I don't want. I think it's too fresh of a wound for them to be like let's trade him for less than a first because we just traded a first for him. It's too fresh of a wound. You know what I mean? It hurts the ego too much.
You know what I think would be like at this point, like it's gonna sound like it's like a dumb thing to think, but like a perfect scenario for both these guys, I feel like would be if you could like flop 2 quarterback spots right now. I would put Carson in Cleveland and put Baker in Indianapolis. See what would happen if those 2 flop places. Like say like with Cleveland obviously upgrading with their receivers, like getting a receiver too, not just leaving them out to dry there. But I would want to see those 2 like just different new kind of similar offenses and stuff, just different scenery for both those 2 people.
Being an Eagles fan, I can tell you 2 places that I think Carson would be okay if he was at, like similar to like the Colts, I guess, maybe better, would be the Browns or the 49ers, and another one would be Tennessee. And I think you would argue that all of them in common have dominant run games, which make the quarterback play easier, arguably. But I think the reason I mean this is because I think all 3 of those offenses kind of script everything to a T. And I think that's definitely better for a guy like him.
I think that's what Carson needs. Yeah. And that's like why Baker is even competent in that. I mean, this year he was hurt. I'll give it to him. Like, but last year he looked pretty good. But Baker's another guy who needs stuff scripted for him. Yeah, and I think Baker. I think Baker had some better teams than Carson, but I do think Baker has had more of the shit end of it, as in, like Stefanski is a godsend because what did he have? Hugh and then Freddie Kitchens, like Jesus Christ, like that is quite the death sentence there. But I mean, obviously Carson was on a Super Bowl winning team, and then obviously got to go back to that familiarity when he left again. So I don't know. It's kind of a toss up for me. I would probably take tomorrow. I'd probably take Carson over Baker, only because I think like you're getting a turnover game, but like I think Baker, the whole thing is like you don't know. That's more scary. Yeah, but I agree with that. So let's try to figure out where some of these quarterbacks end up. So let's just put some hypotheticals out there. I'll give you some names. You just tell me first team pops in your head. All right. Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater. San Francisco. Like I said, I think they get rid of Jimmy, and I think you can get Teddy for cheaper. And I don't think they want to like just rock with Trey Lance being the guaranteed only quarterback on their squad. Like I think they want a competent guy who, like I think Teddy kind of plays the Tyrod Taylor role now in this point of his career. That's very fair. Yep, that's very fair. Yeah. I agree with that. I can't disagree with that. If I had to put like a place on him or something, it's tough. I'm kind of thinking he's going to New Orleans. Oh, now in this scenario, of course, Jameis doesn't come back. I don't think you're like, where does Jameis go if he's not? I don't think you're rocking those 2 because obviously they have what's his name back there, the non-true. Those 2. Oh yeah. They have Taysom, who they value, but he might not be the traditional quarterback. But yeah, I'm gonna say Jimmy, or I'm gonna say Teddy ends up in New Orleans. So let me give you another name then. Flip flop right away. Then Jameis. Do you think Jameis ends up in New Orleans again? No, I just think. Like I think Teddy's going to come cheaper, so that actually might be a fit. Like I think they're going to be looking cheap. Jameis played on a very cheap contract last year. It was like $12 million, but the cap was cheaper than that. But I don't know. Like who wants Jameis is the question. Like I think a lot more teams would be willing to sign. I think some teams. I think Jameis is also smart from an agent standpoint, where he'll go to maybe a shittier team for less money or a better team for less money to compete because he believes in himself. And it drives the price up then. See, I think Jameis is good. I
think Jameis is feasible. Like that, but that's why I think Jameis is good. It's because I think he knows he's realistic to a sense of price. Like he's not Carson Wentz getting $60 million. He's not Baker getting, you know what I mean? Like,
and here's the thing you said about like Carson and Baker, like, you know that you're gonna get, like, say Carson, you're gonna get your pick a game, and then Baker, you just don't know what you're gonna get. Jameis, you know you're gonna get your pick a game, but you also know he's gonna come out and throw for like 300 and like 3 touchdowns every game too.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. I always said if somebody could shake the like dumb mistakes out of, if someone could pick him up and
someone could shake the dumb mistakes out of him, he's Pat Mahomes. Like, he's so good. His arm talent.
Yeah. Honestly, yep. The arm talent, I believe it. So slap a team on him for me.
A team I want to see him.
First team, pop in your head right now.
Indianapolis, just because.
Okay, that's fair then. Yeah. Yep.
I just think, like, I feel like Frank's a guy who could limit his mistakes. Like, I think he's the guy.
Very fair. Very fair.
Smitty.
Oh no! All right, so let me give you the synopsis quick of where we got. We're talking quarterbacks. You know, I've named a bunch of them. I want you to just tell me. We only got 2 in so far, so tell me the first. I'm going to tell you 2 names, and you tell me the first team that pops in your head. Where are they going? All right, where do they start? Where are they? What roster are they on next year? Ready?
All right. Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, Teddy Bridgewater. I don't even know.
It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter. Like, you could sound like an idiot here. What's that?
Maybe the Commanders.
That's fine. I said, yeah, exactly. Like, there's not dumb answers. I mean, you could say the Packers even, because you don't know what, Aaron's doing and stuff. But I said the Saints. I predicted he goes back there. And Dalton, what was your prediction? San Francisco, up for Teddy. And then we had Jameis Winston was the second one. Go ahead, give me your Jameis pick. Where do you think he is? And you could say these quarterbacks go back to wherever. Like, that's fine.
I see the Saints actually keep it Jameis. That's why
someone had to say it.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Doyle said that too, I think.
No. I didn't give it to him yet. I was waiting.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking Teddy Bridgewater to the Saints, but then I was like replaying in my head. I think they're going to keep Jameis because, like, I mean, when he was healthy, he wasn't playing bad. So
let me tell you where I think Jameis ends up.
I don't think if Jameis leaves NOLA, I don't think it's a NOLA doesn't want Jameis thing. I think it's a Jameis doesn't want to be there another year.
I think Jameis is dominating this division. I don't think he's leaving. I think he's going to Carolina. I think him and Sam Darnold is the battle for starter, and I think Jameis wins it. I think Jameis wins it. I think Jameis wins it too, the starting role, which is fine. I think he kind of just reverts back to the team with the Bucks. I think he had so many weapons on the Bucks where he was able to throw 30 picks and 30 touchdowns. Where I think on the Panthers, they have receivers. You know what I mean? They have McCaffrey. Like, they can kind of do some stuff. They can go get some linemen. Yeah, they need an upgrade. But let me just go down the list. Keep throwing them at you. And this all we'll probably finish with tonight. Mitch Trubisky. Go ahead, Dalton. Go ahead first. Let me know. I know you got a place for him.
I got a place in my mind. I think he goes to the Commanders. That's where I think he goes.
Commanders?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Smitty? Tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I could see him going to the Commanders too. Like,
so let's throw out
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, that's a good spot. I've seen some people say because he's probably going to go on a lesser contract somewhere, and they're going to have some room. Let's just throw out quick while we're in the middle of this. Let's throw out some teams that are probably in the quarterback market. Okay, so Pittsburgh, maybe. They sound like they're not, but they might be. Same with Indianapolis. They sound like they're not, but they might be. The 49ers haven't said same thing. They haven't said they're in the quarterback market, but if they move Jimmy, they're probably going to be looking for a veteran. The Packers could be. Washington probably is. Philadelphia could be looking for a veteran backup. Seattle.
You're getting in Philly. You know who's going to Philly.
He might. Seattle might be looking for a starter. Tampa's probably looking for a starter. The Saints are looking for a starter. Who else are we missing here? The Jets probably aren't competing anybody. Carolina, yep, they are. Miami doesn't look like they're competing. It looks like Tyrod is probably coming back to the.
Is Houston looking for another guy?
That's what I mean. They're rolling with Mills, but they love Tyrod. They were big on bringing Lovie Smith. He's big on bringing Tyrod back, from what I read. Just to have him there, but I like Tyrod too. I think Tyrod is a very consistent backup. Always got a bad rap as a starter. Never really got a starting role on a great team.
I think he's seen on like Hard Knocks though when he was at the Browns, and he was like literally thought like stuff was a joke, that Tyrod likes to do things the right way, and he, you know what I mean? Like
they might be another team that's probably looking for
the Browns.
Maybe some competition. Though here's a crazy one, but the Falcons are probably looking for competition because Matt Ryan is the highest grossing cap quarterback this offseason at like $49 million. So there's a ton. We probably miss some, honestly. Who knows what Kyler's doing? That might just be nothing. That might be something. Who knows?
That's true. Think about
the
that.
Giants, like, maybe looking for a veteran backup. The Bills, if Mitch is leaving, maybe looking for a backup. Who knows? We really don't know. Chicago might be looking for a veteran backup if Foles and Dalton. Dalton's another guy we haven't even talked about. Andy Dalton's contract is up. Go ahead. We'll jump right to Andy Dalton. Where's he at next year?
I don't see Andy Dalton going to any team that's like going to give him a job. Like any.
No, that's fine. He might be a backup. He might be a backup. That's fine.
I mean, if Philly really needed a backup, I could see us grabbing him. Just
maybe. Yeah.
We like to be kind of deep at the quarterback position. Like
what? And we'll jump to Philly.
Huh?
If he's a free agent.
In. You guys are bringing in Mariota. You're
okay.
Fits the system.
so Mariota. So let's finish up with who did I just say there?
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. We're giving throw out the team.
Oh my God.
Who do you think, Smitty?
Yeah, Smitty, go.
I'm kind of with Dalton on this one too. Like I don't really see him going anywhere. I feel like
I got a name.
He's probably just gonna stay there and ride the bench.
Like, I got two spots. He's coming back to back up Joe Burrow in Cincy. Now that he's kind of solidified himself as a backup, now that he's probably solidified himself as a backup and he's not trying to compete for starting roles. I had another one, an interesting. Oh, the New York Giants. Another spot where he could be a backup.
The Giants would be a good one because he might have a chance to start over there, considering Danny Dimes.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know how fast they're going to be looking to move on from Dimes, but yeah.
So did Pittsburgh say they want to draft a quarterback?
From what they've put out to the media,
right?
Well, they are going to, from what everything Mike Tomlin, Kevin Colbert, all those guys were saying out, like putting out in their PR statements were they're going to roll with Rudolph and Haskins, and they're going to be looking to draft a quarterback.
See, I could see Andy going there strictly if they don't want to draft a quarterback, though. Like, just if they want to.
And that's fine. Like, saying that's kind of what we said about Mitch earlier too. Like, he's another one could kind of fit that role.
I just feel like Andy would be nice because those are two young guys, and then you need like a veteran guy there.
That's fine. What about Mariota then?
Philly. He's going to Philly.
Philly. What about you, Smitty?
I mean, I could see it. I could see Philly.
I'm going to say he ends up out in San Fran, out with the 49ers.
I could see him.
And they start Trey Lance. That's certainly not a bad spot. We'll jump up to Smitty's old buddy Carson Wentz. Where does he start the season next year?
I don't know. I think he might renegotiate his contract and stay with the Colts.
I just said that right before you joined, Smitty. Or to Dolan. I said that's probably like the best case scenario for him.
That's probably what he should do.
I mean, if he was greedy, he could just keep the contract, and stay for the money. But then nobody's going to want him after the contract's up. Like, he's not going to be playing football anymore. Mm-hmm. But if he renegotiates, proves himself, he'll get a longer career.
I actually have an interesting scenario for Carson. What if Russ finds his way out of Seattle and they end up swooping in and taking Carson?
We've all seen a lot of like straight up like swap scenarios for Russ going down, but that could be possibly one of them.
I think that would be like a nice spot for Carson Low-Key. I mean, the O-line's horrible, but like the weapons are there. They commit to the O-line.
That's true.
Nice spot for him.
And they kind of like it.
Like, he's a guy that you're not going to get this many chances left anymore. You know what I mean? Like he needs to take one that he got.
Yep. So did you give a pick here?
For
you
Carson?
think Indy? Is that what you're going with, Indy?
I'm saying Indy. I'm saying he stays
Indy.
in.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm saying
That's fine.
Indy. If not, I would love to see that scenario where he goes
Seattle. That's another good spot. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Smitty here and say he stays with Indy for the season. We'll go up to the Packers. Jordan Love. Does he start the year next year on the Packers?
If Roger stays, hell no, obviously. But I don't know. I feel like I heard that they were shopping him, right? They were, putting him out there trying to get some stuff.
I've read that.
I don't see anybody really like going after him or trying to pick him up, because when he did play games, I don't think he proved anything. I don't think he proved to be a starter. Obviously, Green Bay was concerned about him starting, so they tried to settle things with Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know. I feel like he's probably just a bench player, probably for his career, just rolling the bench. I don't see him going anywhere in particular. Probably just stay.